Guys, we are about to go live.
Okay.
And we'll start recording the session as well.
Where is this streaming? Should I know? Did you send me the information where it's actually streaming?
It is getting recorded and it's getting streamed on YouTube and Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it live streamed today or no?
Yes.
It is? Okay.
All right. And it's also we also have the link for the webinar which is already been given to you. And if you register for the webinar, watch it live as well.
Okay.
You're not coming through as clearly now, Amit. I don't know why.
Okay. Let me try using my headset. Is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Martin and Ebony, for coming over. Really appreciate your time. So let me introduce Martin here. Martin is from Boston. He's a co-founder of a company called Jacaranda Living. They're primarily into fine linen embroidered products. They are a big fan of linen and they work with linen a lot. And Martin is a graduate from University of Cape Town. He is a corporate growth leader and entrepreneur. He has founded and successfully ran 13 diverse startups in his career. He has a lot of experience in sales and marketing, and in the past he has been the chief revenue officer of RailPod and consultant at Triumph Modeler. Martin, thank you so much for coming over. Looking forward to speaking with you in the webinar.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Uh, Ebony Swank is again a very dynamic lady. She is from Detroit. She's CEO and founder of a company called Swank Posh. They're primarily in the fashion apparel industry, and she's a business consultant, owner of 4 retail stores named Swank Posh. She runs a secondary business of assisting and educating entrepreneurs on how to run successful businesses, and she calls the program as as business best friend program. Great work, Ebony, and she uses Instagram and YouTube to educate people about her business and trade secrets. And Ebony is also a fabulous public speaker. Thank you so much, Ebony, for coming over. Looking forward to speaking with you.
Thank you for having me.
Uh, Martin, 13 startups and running them successfully. What's your secret? What keeps you going?
The horizon. You've got to keep your head up and keep going. You know, um, startups always you've got to have a reason why you're doing what you're doing. And it's got to have that purpose. And unfortunately, often when you start a company and you say things like, I'm going to start the world's first all plastic shopping cart, which has a considerable investment in things like tooling. The tooling to do plastic injection molding and so on is enormous. And if it doesn't work, it's just a piece of scrap metal. So you've got to have belief. And there are two things that I work on and I really firmly believe in. There's the head, and what is the head saying? And usually I allow the gut to trump the head, because the head, you can add all the pluses and the minuses, why it's going to work and what the risks are. But if the gut is saying it's sound, it makes sense, it helps stir up my belief and get through. Because when 90% of the people say no one else in the world has done this before, the risk profile is too high, you shouldn't do it. That's what helps me get through and succeed. So I work on those principles, and I really believe in my gut feeling and gut sense of what I do. And then you've got to build a really solid platform of strategy and planning to make sure it is a success.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Martin. So, guys, Martin is saying that You can have multiple businesses. You must have a strong purpose so that you can sustain the businesses, so that businesses can sustain themselves, and trust your gut. Your head might just give you different opinions, different directions, but you got to trust your gut. That's Martin's take on the businesses. Thank you so much, Martin. Appreciate your thought. Emily, tell us about your business. What's your why? Why are you doing what you're doing?
Well, since I was younger, I would always dress people, and
I can hardly hear you, Ebony.
oh,
Yeah, you
you
got a
guys,
little louder.
okay? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
a little louder. Yes, yeah.
Okay, great. So, since I was younger, I always dressed people, but that's not where I thought the direction my life was going to head into. I have a background in accounting, and I was living a corporate life, of course, but I tested the entrepreneur market, and I seemed to be quite um, profitable. So my why started as this is fun, this is something to do. But when I took it more serious than other people that were around me that were kind of doing the same thing. And I have two daughters. I'm a single parent. So my why has always been to make sure that my kids had a better life than myself. Not that I grew up all hard or anything. I just wanted, so much more when it comes to education and financial stability and um, just, just an all around good life. And my why is because it's actually it's a great thing to do for my community because I'm able to give back. I'm able to show people when you're wearing jeans, you're wearing different things, you can be confident and showing them, just be yourself because where the internet has taken so many different people, everyone is influenced by, getting plastic surgery. So it makes people ashamed of who they are. So my message to my customer is you can be exactly who you are and still look good. So when you see the way that I market to my audience is exactly to them. I'm speaking to them directly to let them know it's nothing wrong with who you are as a person. Don't get caught up in so much of the Kim Kardashian um, shape or form of someone. It's okay to be yourself and be beautiful. And I love that more than anything. Being able to get a message out to a woman to let her know you're perfect, you're fine. Let's do this and try the jeans on or anything else that we feel like that the customer actually needs. So fashion has always been my thing. I actually love it. I love the fact again that I can get the message out to people to understand you're beautiful in the skin that you're in.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a great thought, Ebony. Um, Clearly, so what Ebony is saying that she is authentic in her communication to the customer. She does not want them to change themselves for somebody else. Be yourself is the message, and feel good about yourself and be yourself. Thank you very much, Ebony. So, Ebony, tell us a little bit more about your business, online versus offline. What are the sales numbers, sales percentages, online versus offline?
Okay, so online in the stores, each my stores can do my retail stores do about 4 million a year each, and online we're about at 15 million online sales. And of course, we've scaled and continue to scale and see how far we can actually push. But the struggles that have been there has been, making sure that the foundation is correct and everyone that you have in place, making sure you have a team in place first. And, that takes away time. That's the part that's kind of also a struggle because it takes the time for my creativity. I have to make sure that I have the correct CFO. I have to make sure that I have the right accounting team, period. That is actually here at Swank. Then it also comes down to the marketing manager. And of course, we didn't start that way. So, again, like I mentioned, I have a background in accounting, so all the time I was being trained, but not even realizing that I was actually being trained by the CFO of the company because since I had the experience and was able to work directly with him, all of these things start to come back how I was helping him run the small company that I worked for at the time. So although at the time I didn't realize that the experience that I was receiving at that small company would help me in the long run, it definitely helps today. But it's definitely a challenge. It's definitely an experience. It's definitely different changes that you have to do when you're scaling and when you're growing. And you have to take control of your growth because things can get out of control. But moving warehouses, expanding in warehouses, because I primarily do all of my own shipping. I no longer use ShipStation because ShipStation was actually it's not it's not a good tool for all the different variances and all the different movements that I have to have over here um, in Swank because we have so many different components. So it's not like we're just selling like one thing. We continuously have different jeans, different tops, and I do a lot of testing. And I may be going overloading the question, but it's just so much that happens. And I'm actually excited to be able to be here to say, I started with one store. My first store failed. So to be able to be here, pick it back up and get it going, and to be able to be here and being able to monetize off of um, just this fashion area. So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Wonderful, wonderful story, Ebony. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for this great perspective we got. Um, Over to you, Martin. Martin, tell us a little bit about your business and what's your why. Why are you in the linen business and what keeps you going?
Well, that's an interesting question because out of all the startups that we've done, um, I've done a considerable amount of research to find out what the market need is, and um, and really that's incredibly important. I really believe in the research piece of it. This one, Jacaranda Living, actually started um, on a trip back to South Africa. My wife absolutely admires the talent of the local Zulu women in South Africa that do incredible work with embroidery and needlework on linens. And we were at a flea market, and she was going on about the quality and how great these people are. And I remember saying, look around you at this flea market. This is the scope of their market. And look how far their reaches. It goes across to the other side of the field over there. And perhaps what we could do is we could try and help them expand their horizons and see if we can do something back in the US. So she packed a basket of goods, and we flew back to Boston and went up affluent Newbury Street. And my wife, Kathy, called with great whoops of delight, saying, "The basket is sold. People love this stuff in Boston." And immediately after that, we founded Jacaranda Living. We told the people back in South Africa that we are going to help them and we're going to expand their horizons. They really suffer a lot of financial hardship, health issues, AIDS, crime, bunch of things. And they're such wonderful people. So we wanted to help them. And so that became our purpose, and that's why we started. And it became our mission to help people less fortunate than ourselves. We've since diversified, and we have the same mission to help people less fortunate than ourselves. And we are sourcing now from similar types of people in different countries around the world. And we bring in these very, very high quality embroidered linens. We do sleepwear, we do bath linens, table linens, baby wear. We do a whole bunch of things. And in fact, we've got about 5,000 SKUs now, and which is a lot. And we sell to about just over 4,500 stores that buy from us. And so we started off as a wholesale business. And then I made a website because the stores were not buying the entire mix, and the stores were not in every corner of the country. So I created this website, and we went online. So we started with B2B, and then we went B2C, which is fantastic. And we've added all the different channels: Amazon, House, Wayfair, Cherish, Fair, all of these channels, and we're on their boards. And finally, there are all these online companies that sell online, and we do dropship programs for them. So there are four different channels, and it's gone extremely well. We're very, very happy with how it's gone. Fortunately, our emphasis on digital marketing and promoting the website has helped prop us up significantly during this past COVID year. During a time when our wholesale stores, a lot of them were closed, and quite a few of them did not reopen, unfortunately. And we're very sad about that, because the owners of all these stores, really, we became pretty good friends with them, and it was very personal. And we love them, they love us, and but we've backed it up with all the other online stuff that we're doing. And so I don't know if that answered your question, but we are a multitude of channels, and we are now going. We've got a lot of global interest through the website, and we're supplying many people around the world now. And we are absolutely delighted that we are able to help uplift the quality of life of all these people that work in socially responsible environments, and they do an excellent job, and things are going great.
Fabulous, wonderful, great work, and great why, Martin. Martin, which platform do you use to sell D2C?
B2C, we've got a Magento software program,
You use
and
Magento.
what's that?
You are in Magento.
We're on Magento, and I've spent a considerable amount of my time with another guy called Amit, who's based in India. He's a magnificent guy. He's very good at what he does, and he helped with the technical structure of the stuff that I didn't understand, but all the content I did. And we've just upgraded to the latest version of Magento. And so jacarandaliving.com is quite a big site today, and it's been incredibly helpful during this COVID period.
Excellent, wonderful. So your pre-COVID, post-COVID, your numbers hit. You are back on track. Your growth. How is the growth looking like?
Well, that's a very good question. Fortunately, we've got these four different channels. The wholesale channel, with all our precious wholesale stores, really suffered a lot, as they suffered during COVID.
Right.
And by law, they had to close because people were not allowed to go shopping in stores. And then when they reopened, when they allowed people to open, a lot of these stores couldn't sustain themselves and closed. So it was very sad, because these are very special people. And so our wholesale business was down, but because of the emphasis on work that we did in building up our website and our digital marketing, which my daughter Gracie is very involved in-house doing our digital marketing. She's very good at it, and she's done an extraordinary job. And our online business is up 246% through COVID, which I thought was very significant. And we ended up year on year 32% up overall as a company because of that.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
Excellent, Martin. Thank you so much. Uh, Ebony, what platform do you use to sell online?
I only use Shopify Plus.
Shopify Plus. Uh, in your business now, your business is flourishing, and I'm definitely sure that you have a huge team as well to work on the business. What do you focus on, Ebony, the most in your business? Where does your time go?
The content. I knew
The
that that was the content. I knew
Okay,
that that was my specialty, because the content is what got us where it was, and I didn't want to remove myself from it. So although I've hired a lot of people to assist me with that, but I still am leading that area. So content and marketing is where I am the strongest.
Hmm. So you believe that it's important for the founder of the company to be very particular about what message is being sent to the people, and that message has to be the way you want it to be.
Well, I think it's very important for them to understand their audience first. I've
Hmm.
talked with so many other entrepreneurs that just don't understand their actual audience. And when I am speaking with them or trying to teach them, that's one of the things that I dive deep into. What does your customer look for? What do they want? What type of books do they read? What type of music do they listen to? All of that is important because when you're speaking to them, you need to speak to them in their language, the language that they
In,
understand.
interesting, interesting. So is my assumption right that half of your business comes from online and half from offline stores?
What do you mean offline stores?
The
'Cause-
stores, the brick and
oh
mortar.
no, that's not half because I only do 4 million in the stores, the retail stores, if that's what you're asking. But a majority of my business is from an online perspective because with the
In
retail stores, you can only reach so many people. With online, it's almost uncapped. That's the great thing about e-commerce.
Yes. Are you also using Amazon or other channels for selling?
No, my reason for doing that is because I don't want to distract the customer. Whatever Amazon is doing when they're upselling or giving different bundles or whatever, I just implement those type of things on my website because I need the customer. And I am really strong about getting a customer to my site. So that helps me with marketing because I can, once someone hits my site, I can also go back and retarget them in different ways that I've discovered. So I'm really, it's really important to get the customer to at least click on my site so I could track them.
Interesting. That's a great piece of advice. Now, where do you get your customers from? Where do you put your ads?
My ads are on Facebook and Google. And as of this week, I'm going to do more with like some type of content marketing where I'm going to create a blog. The blog is going to basically give instruction on how to get customers, well, give them like how to wear your jeans, how to pull up your jeans, how to wash your jeans, how to put something over your face that won't destroy your makeup or so your makeup won't transfer into your clothes, like giving them different educational pieces so they don't always look as if I'm trying to sell to them. But if I have it on the blog, I'll come up more in the SEO on the Google organic search. I'll come up and I'll get them to my site because the goal is to get them to my site so I can retarget them
How do you convert your visitors into your customers?
by giving them what they look for. So once a customer comes to the site, they click on something that they want or are interested in. And I just retarget them with that along with other things. So I use Calabio. I also use PostScript for emails and for text messages. Calabio for emails, PostScript for messages. And I make sure that I give them um, back what they were actually looking for. I also go back into my customer base all the time and look at who hasn't purchased and I create, well, I don't, but of course I have a young lady that does this for me. She's really great. And we strategize on different segments and different flows to put the customers in, but we're always working on that mix. There's not a day where we're not touching a customer. So I don't, because with Facebook changing and this new iOS update with Apple, and majority of our customers being on iOS, they've made it a change that you can easily opt out. So we can't track you. Well, that Facebook can't track you, and that's where majority of our sales come from. Well, not majority, I would say 40% of the sales, 30 or 40% of our sales. And we don't want to lose that. So with that, I've always been about owning our own customer. That's why it's so important that we collect the email. It's so important that we collect the phone number so we can be in the customer's face at all times. And, those are just things that I've learned over the years and continue to implement and grow. And it continues to be more profitable. And I love that. And I love that we're doing different things here to so we don't have to rely on social media to be able to get our actual customer, because anything can happen. Instagram shuts down. Like right now, we have about 560,000 followers on Instagram. If Instagram shuts down now, I don't want that to be my business. I want to be able to make sure that I actually own my customer.
Very interesting. That's great. That's great perspective, Ebony. Uh, so what's your ROAS, Ebony? ROAS.
Hmm. I think we're at a 350,000 a month. I think
No,
it's a
I'm
three.
saying that's the expenditure
Oh,
on
I'm sorry.
ads.
That it depends on which channel. Right now
Okay.
on Facebook, we aim for anything, nothing less than 4%. But sometimes I find like that's overall.
You
But
mean
there,
four? You mean 4x?
yes, correct. Sorry.
Yeah.
But we do find where some different ads I've done 15, I've done 7 X, but once I see that 15 number, that 7 number, I go back and analyze exactly what I did, and I do it again just in a different way. But those are the most important numbers to be able to look at, because you have to go back and strategize what the customer actually likes. And I'm the top. I deal with the ad agency, Right Hook Media, and I'm one of their top, probably their top uh, marketing, I'm sorry, account, because how involved I am with it, and my strong attention to detail as to what's actually happening. Like uh, uh, we have to know what's happening in the back end, not just allowing people to do things for you. But I'm really, really involved when it comes to that. And the next channel that I'm working on really strongly in ads is YouTube. I'm on Google already, but I'm really getting into YouTube now. And that first 5 seconds is important. So now I have to go back and see what has worked for me in the past and create that in the first 5 seconds.
Fabulous. That's great, Ebony. So what Ebony is saying that it's important to understand what's working for you, what's not working for you, what's working for you, make it work better, leverage that, and work on your strengths. Thank you so much, Ebony, for that piece of advice. Really, really appreciate your time. Um,
Well,
Over to you, Martin. Martin, so tell us about where do you spend most of your dollars on which channel on ads?
Well, if I could spin that a little bit, we, as I've mentioned, we source our products from very talented people around the world, less fortunate than ourselves in the quality of life that we have, and we try to uplift what they do. And we really would like to dispel any thoughts that if we get that mission across to people and people understand that that's what we're doing, we want to build up their trust and their faith that we are a reliable, organized company, despite the kind of environment that we are sourcing our products from. And so what we do is we absolutely hyper focus firstly on our customer service to prop up the experience. So it's nice to be supporting people out there that make these things, but they've got to have a good experience. So we want to knock the cover off the ball on that customer service and the experience. We do it right always the first time, because the market's pretty unforgiving. If you do it wrong the first time, they just don't come back. And so we hyper focus on the only opportunity that we're going to get. And we want it to be human. We want it to be personal. We want it to be sincere and built on trust and faith. No fuss with exchanges or returns. People, we believe in the good of people and the honesty of people. And if they've got an issue, we will support them. And that's part of building the brand. We also go as far as writing handwritten notes to customers that buy from us. And they get this little handwritten note. Wow. And if somebody's bought from us before, we look it up to see that they've bought before, and we acknowledge it in the handwritten note. Thank you for coming back to us. We hope you enjoyed the last one, and this one is. So this is very personal service that we do. and we put these notes into every package. The mailings that we do to customers are very informative, and they prop up the essence of all of this customer service and the quality of the type of products that we're putting out there. There's a huge emphasis on what is new, and people want to see what is new. So we keep refreshing the mix, and we've gotten a new arrivals page on our website, and people love going there. So this customer service and the experience is really important, and it all comes with great packaging. So once we believe, once we get that right, you can go public. There's no point in going public if you haven't got the system in place, because you're going to fail very fast. And that first opportunity to succeed is gone from the get-go. So we focus on this customer experience, and we really work very, very hard on it. And it's working. We've got a lot of, we subscribe to Trustpilot, and the reviews are posted on our website. And if we get anything under 100% rave review, we follow up with the client, and we find out why we slipped if they gave us a 4. Because a 4 for us is a blemish. So our standards are very high. And having said all that, and really feel confident in the brand has to shine. And if there's a stain on it, it's very difficult to get rid of that, because you've lost your first opportunity. So anyway, we've got that right. And then we focus on our digital marketing. As I say, we brought it in-house. My daughter Gracie doing a fantastic job. And we all over Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn. And we use a lot of influencers to help us with the reach. And we post on social every day. And we are now adopting video more and more. And on our website, we've got a big welcome message in the About button on the website, which is warm, engaging, and it tells the story about what our mission is and how we're helping. So it's a composite between customer service and how you show your face in the marketplace and be consistent with it. And it's working. It's working really well for us, and we're proud to be upholding the kind of standard that we are offering and getting the reviews back, confirming that we are on track with that.
Great. Uh, what are the marketing channels you are relying on, and what data, what KPIs do you look for, Martin?
Gosh, it's complex because we're in different channels, right? And where are we getting it from? So we might get one thing from all our wholesale business, another thing from our onliners, and of course a lot of the channels that we're working with, like Amazon and Wayfair and House and all these other guys, they're doing their own too. So we are monitoring and checking on how our brand is being presented in many different ways. And so the stats that we look at are all our analytics, and we look at that all the time, and we look to see where we are doing well and where we could do better. And so it's a composite of a whole bunch of things.
Interesting. Great. Thank you so much, Martin. Uh, Coming back to you, Ebony, uh, what kind of customer and product segmentation do you do, and how do they help you?
Can you rephrase the question? You said what type of customer? I didn't understand the word. Say that
What
again.
kind of yeah, what kind of customer segmentation and product segmentation do you do? So when I say customer segmentation, I mean, do you know which customers you're about to lose? Which are your VIP customers? Which are your potential loyal customers? Do you do any kind of segmentation of customers before you reach out to them?
Yes, we do. And that goes back to the when the customer actually goes to the website. It depends on the actual item that they clicked on. It also depends on, we segment them by the last sale, the customer that signed up for our list, and and they haven't purchased. So we do a lot of that. So let's just say, for instance, we have a customer that have spent over $500 and never came back, and we put those into one segment, and then we may offer them a 40% discount, or we also they also may be in a high purchase flow as well. So we that's one of the ways why we're so successful with our customers, because we segment them a lot. Like everything that we do daily, we're creating different segments on how to get them to purchase. We focus on that totally because I definitely understand if a customer that you already have is easier to sell to rather than to sell to a new customer. If I already have them, they trust me, they purchase from me, they understand the experience, they understand how our shipping mechanism, they understand everything, and we want to keep those customers here and happy.
Mhm. What about product segmentation?
Um,
Do you
product,
do any kind of product segmentation?
product segmentation. Yeah, the people that actually, I'm sorry, I wasn't understanding the word you were saying. Yes, we do put them in different product segments as well. So, the one of the best things is also with sizing. So it may not be as much as it's not all just product; it's sizing as well. So we sell to a lot of plus size customers, so we make sure that we segment them in a particular flow. But if someone just came for jeans, we'll put them there too. Our biggest seller are jeans, but we also have sets, especially more sets since the pandemic because people weren't necessarily going anywhere. So we make sure that we have the loungewear available, and they can be in different segments too. If we brought in, if we had a lot of customers that bought the black, one of our most popular denim is called Super God jeans. They're basically for everyone, and they have so much stretch in them. But if they purchase that pair in black, then we'll let them know we have green, olive, red available too. So yes, we definitely do product segmentation as well.
Mhm. Uh, what are the biggest challenge in your business which you are trying to solve now?
The big overall,
Yeah.
the shipping
Shipping.
with the inventory. And I was talking to my CFO, like, does every big business always have different inventory issues? Like, because you just seem to be like, if it's barcoded, if it's um, uh, in a particular place, and we're short 10, where did the 10 go? So that is my biggest challenge as of right now.
What are you doing to solve it?
Well, first of all, I keep calling meetings with my warehouse manager. That's the first thing that I do, and just basically tracing to see what's wrong with it. Because the biggest thing about being a CEO of a company, whenever you see a problem, you have to resolve the issue rather than just let it sit or just playing the blame game. Who's in charge of it? So it looks as if for a particular issue, because it's so funny that you asked me this. This week I'm having meetings all week about with the warehousing team, because my warehouse is in Los Angeles where I buy from and where I have a lot of my items made. So I'm not physically at the location. Okay. So with that being said, is someone was double entering inventory. That's one issue that, so we had to take rights from someone. And then there's also an overflow because we have so many SKUs and all of them don't fit in the same place. But of course, everything has real estate. So once that particular box sells out, then the packers aren't going to the overflow to pull it to put it back where it needs to go. So that's an issue too. So we're just trying to work through the issues and resolve what's causing it, so that won't be an issue. But after we resolve that, it'll be an issue again with something somewhere else with the inventory because it all fits.
So yes, so for somebody like you with huge huge customer base and huge inventory, how do you manage your inventory? What do you do with the products which are not getting sold? What do you do with the inventory which is just lying up and it's waste of resources, waste of space, waste of money? What do you do with that? How do you
Well,
make sure that you contain that?
I'll give you a couple of different ways because um, I've recently started to do these flash sales, and I was telling my fiance, it's getting easier and easier for me to sell these products, but that comes with education. You have to continue to educate yourself on basically what to do. Now, it may not be what you a podcast that you may look at, such as this one, or well, or a panel discussion. You have to put things in your own words for your own ability to be able to get things done. So just because someone says do A through Z, you can kind of like switch that around a little bit. So I decided to play with the inventory. Once I see something isn't selling, I also do something really cool too. I'll put it in cross sales. So I'll upsell them as a post and a pre purchase. I'll put the different items that I need to move there and I'll give a discount on it. Put urgency on it. Your sell size is going to sell out really fast. Get this right away. Okay. Then the other thing that I do is I play with the, I call it playing with the inventory. I sort with what I don't have because I always look at the inventory and see what I have. Like you have to know your number. You have to know what's happening with your stock because it's money in the bank. Okay. You have to pay taxes on that. So I want to be able to sell it too. So with that being said, is um, I'll do a flash sale every 6 weeks and I put urgency on it, and then I'll restyle it and do another video, and I'll focus primarily on 2 or 3 products. I have one coming up next week, but I try not to overwhelm them with it because I don't want to teach my customer to buy on sale. Okay. But I want to make them feel as if this is something that we're offering you. You can only get it today. It's a really good price. But let's just, I have a really good markup on my product. So if I paid $10 for it and I can still sell it for $25 with a flash sale and get be profitable and make money overnight, that's great for the business too. So that's just some of the things that I do. That was long-winded,
Fabulous.
but it was more detailed.
Great tips. Great tips. Thank you so much, Ebony. We all can use this. Thank you for sharing a secret sauce as well. Uh, what to you, Martin? Martin, at this point, if somebody wants to start an e-commerce business, uh, what would you advise them?
Wow. Um, hmm. Well, I think the first thing, I've started 13 companies. Every time, my most important thing to start a company, whether it's e-commerce or whatever it is the research that is necessary. A lot of people tend to find something that they think is going to sell and have disappointments on the way because the research up front has been missing and and the surprises have not been expected, which they should have. So paramount important to me is research, find out what the market needs, what the hole you need to fill, to service, and is it real? I mean, it's not about what I think, because I'm the least important person in the buying cycle. It's the person over there who I'm reaching out to. So start an e-commerce business. Make sure what you're selling has a place, and what is your competition doing, and so on. It's all about the research before you start, and then having done that, I really firmly believe in the KISS system. Keep it simple, stupid, because a lot of these things tend to get a little overcomplicated, and unfortunately, ego gets in the way of a lot of people, and they make the thing sound out to be a big wazoo and very complicated and enormous thing, when in fact it's just complicated everything, and people become confused. So, start an e-commerce business, do your research properly, know who your customer is, know how to reach that person, and go about it with the structure and the design of your e-commerce platform, and keep it simple.
Wonderful, excellent. Now what I'm hearing from both of you is that Martin is a big fan of Amazon, other platforms, and he's selling at different channels, whereas Ebony is focusing on her online Shopify store. So, Martin, coming to you, why should somebody not sell on Amazon?
Well, that's an enormous question. I think it's a dinner party conversation that I seem to have quite a bit. Um, the question really started when we were built as a company selling to wholesale stores. And all our wholesalers, and as I say, we've got about 4,500 of them, and it's growing quite fast. Well, it's actually had a setback through COVID. A lot of the stores closed, but it's a growing thing, and we built our business on wholesale. And we also grew our offering up to these 5,000 SKUs that we've got. And the debate was, should we go from B2C to B2B? That's the first decision, because it's not just so much about Amazon and all these others. Should you be selling online? Because will your wholesale customers feel that you're competing with them? And so we made a promise. Well, we went ahead and we made the B2C consumer site. We've got two sites. We've got the front site, which is the B2C, and then through a login, you get to the back, which is the B2B at wholesale pricing. And we did it for two main reasons. One is our wholesale stores cannot buy the full offering that we have, 5,000 SKUs. And two is these stores are not located in every corner of the planet. So there are always holes to be filled. And by going online, we can reach a wider audience, and we can offer a wider mix to people that are shopping. But our single biggest and most important promise is that we will not undermine pricing to our wholesalers. So our online pricing is at least, if not more, than our wholesale stores. In fact, they normally very much on a parallel with what you get in a retail store. So that's our biggest quandary, was should we go online? And we're very happy that we're doing it right, and our wholesale customers are satisfied for the reasons, with the reasons why we're doing it, and they are confident that we're not out there to undermine them. In fact, on our website, we've got all the store locations that people can go into with addresses, phone numbers, and emails of all our customers who are carrying our lines. At least our bigger customers. We don't have all of our customers, but we do have certainly our bigger ones. But then the decision is to go into these other channels, and um, we've got our manufacturers selling prices. Amazon has a way of doing it their way, and so we've got a limited offering on Amazon. We don't want to scale it too much because it can interfere with our wholesale base. But all the others are very consistent and non-threatening to each other.
Interesting. Those are good, great tips, great points, Martin. Thank you very much. Since Ebony is not a great fan of Amazon, and she likes to control what message is going to her customers, and she is more focused on her channel of Shopify. Let me ask Ebony. Ebony, why should somebody sell on Amazon?
One of the reasons I actually thought about selling on Amazon before was to get rid of product. I had a lot of smalls and that I was trying to get rid of, to liquidate basically. Some people that may just need a marketplace that may not be as savvy as I am in the marketing area, and they feel as if Amazon can help them. But along with Amazon, you still have to be able to be for people to see you, to know your product, because it could be 20 people on Amazon selling the same thing. So I'm not against it, especially if it works for you. It's just not my way of doing it, because I have so many different strategies that I do for the customers going to my website. It's not just to sell to
There are a lot of other platforms. Amazon is primarily not for fashion, but since Ebony, you are in the fashion industry, apparels and fashion industry, there are other platforms which are focusing on other marketplaces, focusing on fashion industry. Do you intend to sell your products on those marketplaces?
no, I do not.
For the reason that you want to control the customer's journey.
Yes, I want to be able to control the journey. I need to know their every step. I need to go back and study them and analyze their behavior. That is the reason for that. And I'm not
Okay.
sure if you can do that with Amazon too. I'm just not about making Amazon more successful, continue to be them. I need to be able to be just as successful as them.
Ebony, your business is growing year on year, and we were very happy for you. Where do you think that your business can run without you?
That's a question my fiance asked me. Yes, I have trained people here, like even with the stores, I came out of the stores because I just simply didn't have the time. Someone manages the stores for me, but I've trained them to think how I think, run these different reports. But everybody won't be an Ebony, but if I can at least get them to be a 9 out of a 10 or 8 out of a 10, I think that's great. But I have some really good people, really great people that actually works for me. Yeah.
Is that your aim, or should that be your aim, to put your business on autopilot so that you can move on to your next venture and the next and the next?
Oh, no, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I'll be missing something because I love it here. I get so emotional talking about slang, and it may be because I know where I started and to where I've ended up. That's why if I was to do something else, it would be more so just continue to teach the people that you know the different strategies that I've learned and continue to evolve with them. You know, so but being here, I want to be here. I love it here. I do.
Yes, so you have also mentioned that you definitely assist a lot of business owners and you coach them. You're also a business coach. So what do you focus on while you coach businesses? What are your top two priorities when you're coaching somebody?
Marketing and knowing your customer. Oh, I'm
No.
sorry. Also knowing your number. The number is not just the money that's coming in. Understanding your inventory, what you're buying. That's really important because some people will just continue to buy things that they like or things that may not necessarily work for their audience. Is I What I buy may not work for the next company. I didn't just teach people how to open up fashion businesses. I did teach them the foundation of opening any type of business. And people get really scared when they have to open up a business. They think it's very overwhelming, but you can open up some things with not a lot of money and test to see if that's what it actually is before you put your all in it. I'm sure that some people would agree with me when it comes to that. That you should be able to test everything before you give it your all. And testing means analyzing it, from something small or big, from the perspective of that.
Excellent. Ebony, I want to understand from you, your business is growing. So are you big on having business goals and having, let's say, a business plan as a week by week plan for next 90 days? Do you
Yeah,
believe in having business goals, week by week plans, and how do you follow them? How religiously do you follow them?
no, I realistically follow them. That's one of the reasons why we've been able to be so successful. It's almost like so on Black Friday, something happened with Facebook where everything was crazy. We made the goal for the weekend, but I really anticipated on making the goal for the day, and I really not. That was the day I felt as if I had lost the NBA championship or something. Now I know how people. I was so hurt. I was crying and just really down because I'm so goal driven. Week to week, I have a meeting and strategize with my marketing team, my influencers, my photography team, like everyone, because I'm so goal driven. And when I'm pulled out to do a different job that I may need to learn within a company that people probably say that I shouldn't. I learn so much within that space, but it takes me away from reaching that goal. But I still have a strong enough team that they understand and they've worked with me long enough to know exactly what I want and what I'm thinking. And they know I'm kind of going to be a little crazy when I get back to the table and they didn't do it exactly how it was planned to do it. We have the same playbook. We run the same play every sale, every event, every collection drop. So, yeah, if that answers your question, yes, I'm very goal driven and I stick to my plan. That's really important here.
Fabulous, wonderful. That's an excellent. I assumed that would be the case. I wanted to come out from your mouth.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank guys. Thank you very much. Any final words from you, Martin, before we wrap up?
I just want to support Ebony on that. You can't go into anything without a plan. You've got to have a plan. You can't go out there and not know where you're going or how you're going to get there or where you want to get to. You've got to have measurable goals, that it's got to be built on a plan, and you've got to commit to that. So, well said, Ebony. I totally agree with you.
Thank you, Martin. Nice to meet with you both.
Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very much. Really had great fun chatting with you, learning from you. It's and you guys are such givers. I mean, you did not shy away from sharing your secret sauce and giving away your teachings and learnings. And at this point of time, a lot of people can learn from you. Whatever we learned last 1 hour has been fabulous, and really appreciate you giving away what you know. Thank you so much. I wish you a fabulous week ahead and a great weekend as well. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Well, we're honored to be part of your program. Thank you.
Well, we are honored. Thank you.
Take care of yourself. Bye bye.
Bye.
Take care.